Hello, friends. Delphine of Arcturus here.
Welcome. We haven't heard from you for a long time. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
It's good to check in with you, see what's going on.
I am currently at the moon station, the Arcturian moon station.
Is that the moon that's going around the Earth? That moon station?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Arcturians are very active there in monitoring and protecting Earth's grid and the planetary grid of the Christ consciousness.
Good.
And I am here for you would say, a working vacation.
Well, enjoy, please. Have fun.
Yes, I will. As you know, my work at home in Arcturus is very quiet and isolated, so I enjoy the change of scenery and tasks.
Feel free to buzz by here while you're so close.
Well, I am here. I will tell you a little something about Arcturians you may not know.
Please.
It seems what I am sharing seems commonplace for us, but it occurred to me that it might be unique to your understanding. We are very focused and committed to our galactic tasks and other tasks that serve the Arcturian nation. We are unlike humans in that we don't move from job to job, career to career in search of more fulfilling work or more rewarding work and so on. All of our work is very rewarding and aligned for us individually and collectively. And so we are very content in what we do and well matched for what we do. And so we don't, as you would say, job hop. And it is common for one in our race to hold a lifelong position.
How long is that life?
Generally speaking, somewhere around 700 of your Earth years. Long enough to relinquish any feelings of boredom. We don't experience a sense of boredom like humans do. We find that tasks and work has its own reward. We don't experience stress or anxiety around our tasks. Concern at times, but we operate in a higher realm of trust in the outworkings of all things in the universe and all beings.
I see. So when we 3D people pass away, we go to 4D and we do whatever processes we need to do about looking at our past life, and I guess maybe figure out whether we want to reincarnate or blah, blah, blah. Maybe the more spiritual beings will go to the fifth dimension. So when the Arcturians pass away after 700 years, certainly they don't go down to the fourth dimension. So where do they go and what do they do?
No, we typically reincarnate back into Arcturian life. Much like Pleiadians as well, typically reincarnate back into Pleiadian life, and so on.
So then that brings up the question of, if they come right back to the same planet, same type of life, why bother passing away? Why not just stay for infinity or however long?
Well, Arcturians have physical bodies that we inhabit. They are much less dense than yours, obviously, but there is an advantage to acquiring a new physical form. But just as you humans like to change your car or your hairstyle or something about yourself, there is an obvious appeal to having a new beginning and being reborn in some way.
So like the Pleiadians, are there 75% women and only 25% men, or is it more of a balance there? Or do you even have gender?
We have gender roles here, but they are very fluid and not restrictive.
So what about
and we are more equally balanced in terms of male and female than the Pleiadian race. And many of Arcturians would to you seem androgynous. So the distinguishing features between male and female are less defined for us. We feel very comfortable inhabiting either male or female characteristics as needed, as preferred, or as serve our interest or collective interests. And partnerships may or may not include regenerative properties or romantic qualities. Some have lifelong partners that are dear friends. And we do not have a phenomenon of hostile separations that you have, and in our race, two who come together for a partnership are very likely to remain together. we are more involved in relational dynamics and camaraderie and cooperation. And so we don't form partnerships lightly and rarely think of a partnership as formed as a mistake or poor choice. We put forethought into partnerships and have much what you would call emotional intelligence, so we don't generally find ourselves surprised by anything emerging from a partner. And also, our race as a whole is much more emotionally settled and evolved than humans, and we are not typically driven or compelled for partnership. In other words, we don't feel a sense of lack or deprivation if we do not have a partner. And so we are very comfortable with being alone.
So how are new beings, how's the reproduction? Is it the same as the humans? Sex and then a being lives in the body and then is born? Or is it done in a capsule or a factory somewhere?
Well, there is some of both, just like there is on the Earth. We wouldn't certainly call it a factory. But some births and gestational periods are generated, artificially generated, and many are not.
Is there any disease or illness?
No. Sometimes there might be injuries that are not very common. And no, we do not struggle with disease. Our food sources are perfected. And we have basic and generalized self-discipline practices regarding the care and maintenance of our form. We would not be, for example, driven to overeat or these sorts of things. Those are, as you might call, temptations that we do not experience anymore because we are not driven by emotional pain and thereby do not need to medicate or alter our state of consciousness.
Therefore, you don't have any kind of spiritual practice?
We have some rituals of gathering that might appear to you to be religious in nature, these are more for enjoyment and sharing. We are not sure about your question, what your question is exactly.
No, you answered it. I was going to say about meditation, or I know you don't have religion or churches. I mean,
we do not have a need for meditation because we are very present. So perhaps in that regard, you would deem that we live in a more meditative state of being, but we do not have a meditative practice as such. We are very present in each moment, and this is our practiced way of being.
Do you sleep?
Yes. We have regular sleep cycles, much like humans.
So does that mean that you guys have created a time? There's time on the planet?
Well, our spaces are much less dense and restrictive than yours, so we are much less limited, and to answer, we have some conceptual use of time, but it is very different than yours and perhaps difficult to explain.
Okay.
However, in the case such as my visit now to the Earth moon, and for those who work on the moon's space station and with the Federation in regards to human work, those of us would tend to be more subject to the limitations of time in order to work more compatibly with humans.
So are you implying that on the moon that there are some Earth people, humans who are there working with you guys?
Well, we will not speak to that, but our intent was to say that the Arcturians who work there work more within time constraints because they are working with the Earth grid. It is not necessary, but it makes more sense and makes our work more efficient to be mindful of Earth time.
So you're not willing to say whether you work with human beings?
Well, we are working with you.
And more of a physical contact, more in the same place, side by side, so to speak.
Yes, we do have real world 3D material visits with some humans.
So how do I get a job there? Who do I apply to? Does anybody there need acupuncture?
Well, you may decide that this sort of work would be appealing in your next incarnation if you choose one. And this is the joy of transitioning, is to explore the myriad expanse of options in the cosmos. And there are some beings of the lower astral plane which do indeed attempt to persuade souls to reincarnate swiftly back to Earth in order to keep these souls locked into existence in lower astral planes. However, for those who know better, when they are transitioning, they can elevate their status considerably and work in higher realms with a more unlimited potential and less dense restraints, less restraints of time and space if they so choose.
Sounds like fun.
It is great fun. Well, and we would say the Pleiadians already have their eye on you, so it might be hard to dissuade them.
No,
They have invested a lot in your progress, and also they view you as a vast resource of experience and knowledge available for assistance to mankind, and have invested, as you would say, time and energy in your process. They would like to have a return on this investment, if at all possible, and not against your will, of course, but that is their hope.
No, I'm definitely attracted to them most of all the different beings and planets and etc. life forms.
Well, and you will like it, as there are many women there.
Yes, and I will. Oh, that's true. Well, I really look forward to it, and I hope I'm shooting for a conscious death. I'd like to have a conscious death and go from there.
Yes, so put your thought and intention into that process.
Yes.
That it will transpire as you wish.
And I'm more than, if there's anything I can do to help from this side, I'm certainly would do anything they would ask me to do to help.
Well, you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is primarily to be a collector of data regarding the human body, mind, emotional field, and the process of healing and restoring human vehicles. And you are doing your work there. Satisfactorily.
That's all I get is a satisfactory? Oh, that's okay. I'll try harder.
Well, we are more equanimous here. We don't give out gold medals. Sorry to disappoint you.
No, I don't really care about that anyway.
Here, skills are acquired not for accolades, but because they serve a function and serve the collective, rather than serving to bolster the ego or bring personal reward. We are still very much individuals with individual traits, but we operate with much difference to one another and in harmony. We are very egalitarian. We do not need leaders, in other words.
Yes, well, sometimes in channeling I'm told that there'll be rewards and I don't know, things that when I leave my body, but I don't really care about that at all. I'm quite happy with my life and what I have, and I don't need any kind of accolades or reward. The reward is in doing it. So, but anyway. I don't know if that made any sense.
Yes, we understand. In Arcturus, the work that we do not perceive it as having added to or taken away anything from our being, and we view every job and task as important. And very interconnected. Leaders in Arcturus are servants, and there are no hierarchies of any sort. And power is not abused here.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, we will end for now and allow the vessel to rest.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very, very grateful. I love these times.
Thank you, Delphine of Arcturus here.
Come back soon.